So she looked at my palm and said, "You have a very defined money line." And I was like, "Oh, so I'm gonna be rich." And she said, "No." Dang it. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to it if this is the first time you are joining us. Thank you for clicking on my face. My name is Jacy. I like to do story times on this channel, and today's video is going to be another installment for my spiritual skeptic series. So I am not very spiritual myself, but I have been keeping an open mind, and I've actually enjoyed exploring all the spiritual services that are out there and seeing how I can implement some things, what I would recommend to you guys, or if I just think that some of these are scams. So I'll leave that playlist link down below so you can see only a few of the other videos that I've done. So if you like story times like this, or just hanging out with me and sounding off in the comments with your own recommendations, then make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, as well as consider subscribing so you can join us for future videos. I didn't say what this video was about. Well, you guys saw the title. I got my palm read, and here are my thoughts about it. So I have a list of spiritual services that I definitely want to test out and see if it works for me. But I kind of made this rule where I decided I can't actually seek them out. They almost have to come to me as a way of the universe telling me, hey, you need some guidance from your spirit guide, so now's the time to do it. So that was the case with palmistry. I know I always wanted to get my palm read, but I didn't want to just Yelp something and be like, all right, this place reads palms, let me drive down there and give him my hand. No. One day I was out for a walk in the Hollywood area and I stumbled upon a palm reading business. And right away I was like, oh, well, I guess this is the universe telling me to pop on in. Let's just check it out and see what's going on. So I go to the door, pull on it, and it's locked. And I'm like, dang it, I guess the universe doesn't want anybody touching my sausage fingers today, but no big deal. I continue on my walk and I go down into the Larchmont Village area and I'm like, oh my God, there's a farmer's market today. Well, I have to walk around because I was kind of looking cute and I knew there'd be things to see in the Larchmont Village area. So I'm walking around and I see a table set up from that exact palmistry. They were closed at their main location because they were down here at the farmer's market giving reduced palm readings. And so I was like, you sassy bitch, you universe. All right, I'm in. So I sit down to get my palm read and she lets me know it's a $20 palm reading for about 20 minutes. And I was like, I have no concept of if that's a good price. So I don't know, you guys let me know. Right away though, my palm reader, she asks me, when's your birthday? And I was like, ooh, sneaky, because I feel like she was just trying to get me to tell her my zodiac sign. And you can already make a lot of inferences from somebody's zodiac sign, especially because a lot of people are familiar with the certain traits and characteristics associated with their zodiac sign. For reference though, I was born on July 23rd. That is on the cusp of Leo and Cancer. So I was like, oh, let's see what you're able to do with this one. But right away, I kind of had my guard up because I was like, you're gonna just say things for a Leo and not based on my palm. But let me give it a go. All right, I'm off to the side because I'm going to just put a picture of my palm up here so that you can, I guess, follow along if it's helpful. Sorry, you're just gonna be staring at my hand for the rest of the video, but it's necessary. I'd also like to mention that I asked her if I could record this because I felt like I couldn't remember everything. She said she wasn't comfortable with that, but she was comfortable with me taking notes after the fact. So as soon as this palm reading was done, I quickly tried to write down everything that I can remember. So if I get some of these lines incorrect, or if I incorrectly attribute a characteristic to the wrong heart line or headline, my bad. She just wouldn't let me record it. But here's my palm. Dang. It's a nice looking palm if I do say so myself. Anyway, so she starts the palm reading by starting with my headline, which is this line right here. She said by looking at this line, she can tell that I am very outgoing and that I have great interpersonal skills. I'm not giving you credit for that one, lady. I clearly was very cheery and outgoing when I approached you and tried to make small talk before even starting the whole palm reading, so not very impressed by that. She also took a look at this line and said, based on how outgoing you are and how creative you seem to be, you would be best suited in the line of work of being in the social sector. And she looks at me and she goes, maybe something along the like social media or being in front of the camera. Is that something that interests you? And I took one look at her and I said, lady, I am dressed up from head to toe with a face full of makeup at a farmer's market on a Sunday with my camera out in Los Angeles. Who in this city is not trying to be an influencer by the looks of it? But she just kept saying that based on my headline and my lifeline that I just have great interpersonal skills, I am very energetic, and that I would be suited for a career in entertainment. Again, not impressed. Everybody in LA is pursuing that, so I'm not sold yet, lady. She then points to my heart line, and to me, I always thought my heart line was like romance and very romantic relationships, and she let me know it's more so for just any relationships in your life. And she said that I have a very deep heart line, meaning that I am extremely loyal to all of my interpersonal relationships. However, as a result, because it is so deep, I find it personally very exhausting. And I was like, okay, yeah, I could see that. Then she said that based on where the line, I forget if she said if where it curves or where it ends, that means I am very in tune with my emotions. Again, what does that mean? Like if I'm crying, I'm not gonna be like, why am I crying? Oh, that's right, my dog died. I must be really in tune with my emotions because I'm sad right now. Like I don't know what that means. You're very in tune with your emotions. Like I know I'm happy, I know when I'm sad. I think it just means I can, the way she described it is I can just recognize when I'm about to be in different moods sort of thing, but I don't really know how you can not only tell that by my hand, but how that affects my interpersonal relationships. So I kind of asked her for a little bit more extrapolation from this, and she said that because I am so deeply emotional and very in tune with my emotions in these relationships that are exhausting me, that I really need to assess some of these relationships and kind of let go of some of the ones that no longer are serving me. And that was kind of the first ding, ding, ding moment, because I was like, oh, you must have seen my other video where I talk about ending a lot of friendships that are no longer serving me because I was putting in all of the work. So once she explained it, I was kind of like, okay, yeah, I could definitely see that. But again, that is one of those things that, I mean, I feel like you could apply to anybody. You know, you could tell anybody like, hey, you have some friendships out there that you're putting in all the work. Time to end those. And anybody could be like, you're right, time to kick Ricky to the curb. But I kind of like this one because I was like, that was something that has been on top of the mind for me. I've even talked to you guys about it. So I was like, all right, you might be onto something there with my heart line. But then she said, we'll come back to the heart line because now she wanted to talk about the money line. And she told me that I have a very distinct money line, which is the one running directly down the center of my hand. And when she said this, I was like, I'm gonna be rich, baby. And she said, well, no, hear me out. So she looks at this money line and says that I have a very strong and definable money line. So the way she described it is that your money line is kind of almost like a timeline in terms of years of your life, where towards the bottom, that's kind of like from 0 to 20. And as it extends up towards your fingers, that's kind of like on a level of 100 years. So she says where your money line crosses your headline is where you will see the most financial abundance. And she said that for me, that kind of area based on this timeline sort of sectioning would be in my 30s. And considering I'm not in my 30s yet, she means that the best is yet to come. She kept saying that your career has not yet peaked, but it's coming. It's coming soon. You just need to be patient and you just need to keep doing what you're doing and you will find that financial success. And so obviously my ears perked up because that's what I keep complaining about this whole year, that I don't really know what I'm doing with my career, but I'm just trying to keep my head down and focus on just grinding out content and seeing what works. And so she was kind of validating the fact that you're doing the right thing and it's all going to work out and you're going to see so much money from it. I don't know if she means money or just like personal success, but she just told me in my 30s, I will see all of the fruits of my labor. What's also interesting about this is she said, take a look at this section down here. Somewhere in your 20s, you were given the option to take another route. And this line shows that had you taken that route, you would have been extremely unfulfilled. You would have not achieved that personal or financial success, and that essentially would have been the wrong decision. But you took the initiative to not take that route and instead continued on to your money line into the career path that you found most fruitful, and that's where you are now. And so when she said that, I was like, oh my goodness, because to me, what that meant was what I've told you guys about is I was in a relationship for 8 years and, you know, we moved in together, we bought a house, had a dog, was definitely on the path of getting married, having kids, and just living a normal, everyday American life. But during that time, I was so unfulfilled. I was basically a housewife and I was like, this is this is not what life's supposed to be. I think I'm meant for bigger things than this, and I'm about to be pigeonholed into being a mother and housewife for the rest of my life, and I know I'm gonna be so unhappy, and so that's why I left. And so her describing this, I honed into that moment where I was like, whoa, that was kind of the pathway I could have taken, and seeing where that could have gone, I would have been so unhappy, and it kind of was validating to know that I made the right decision. Oh, I'm sweating so much. But again, with all of these spiritual things, like I mentioned in my tarot card reading, you kind of have to do the work in applying what she's saying to your actual experiences. She didn't know that I left an 8-year-long relationship. She doesn't know that I'm pursuing YouTube and modeling. But based on what she's saying in these vague things, you have to do the work of applying it to your life and realizing where you made the right decisions and maybe where you could make improvements in your life. So when she said this, I definitely applied it to that exact moment, and it had a lot of meaning for me. So what's also interesting is that she said that notice how my money line meets my headline and then kind of stops shortly after. She says usually that meeting point is where you see the most financial success, but where your money line continues is kind of as your career continues. She noted that my essentially career line / money line ends briefly after I reach that financial abundance. She said this could mean that I burnt out of that career, that I was kind of just done with it, or that maybe I made so much money that I was able to retire early. But she kind of made a note to start pacing myself now and being patient, because it looks like in my future, I'm gonna get so burnt out, I'm gonna be so over my career after achieving that success that I'm not even gonna pursue it anymore. And so that really stuck with me, because that's not like predicting the future of like, uh-oh, a burnout's coming. I definitely more see it as something like, okay, that's something I can prepare for, where if I truly reach my peak of success of what I determine is the most successful point of my career, where do I see that going next? What would be the next step for me? And so I actually really like that she said that, because to me, it's not worrying in the sense of, oh no, I'm gonna get burnt out and hate my life. Like, what's the point? It's more of like, okay, pursue what you want now. And if it's not what you want in the future, do another career path. You know, if I don't become a reporter, if I don't get my own talk show, it's not the end of the world. It's just the end of that career line, and it's time to move on to something else. So I'm still not really sure how to interpret that, because it was also a little spooky of like, cool, you're gonna make all this money and die? That's not what she meant, but hopefully I don't get burnt out on it, but you know, you never know. And then she said, let's go back to your heart line. So notice again how your career / money line does not intercept with your heart line. This means that you put your career first, and you will never be able to give yourself fully to a relationship until you are completely satisfied with your career and have achieved that peak of success. She also noted that this heart line could also be turned on its side and made into a little timeline in terms of its years, and it doesn't start curving up until my 40s, meaning that I personally have not found my one true love, but once I have explored my career and reached the peak of my career, I will then be able to open myself up to love and then find my true love. Which is such a weird thing to say, because it's like, I don't know if you should be telling people like, hey, don't even bother dating, because you're not gonna meet your true love until your 50s and until you're done being a boss CEO bitch. So just give up on all the dating apps. Like, that's kind of concerning. But then it's also like, I like that she's saying like, girl, keep up with your career. Like, you got this. You're almost there. Just stay focused, keep tunnel vision, and you will achieve everything you want in life. And even if the true love comes later in life, you'll still get it, which is not great. And if you guys follow the vlog channel, you'll know why I have hesitations about this thing. But I just thought it was kind of interesting, because she just said that my true love will come later in life, and once I'm kind of done with my career, I'll be able to sacrifice myself fully and give fully into that person. But then this part made me laugh so hard, because she said, you have no marriage line and no children lines, meaning you might not ever get married or have children, which actually makes a lot of sense, since your true love will come later in life. And I'm like, I told you bitches, I told you guys I never want to get married and have kids, and nobody believes me except this random palm reader who is telling me that my future says, based on my hands, that I'm never meant to get married or have kids. So that's all the reason I need. So potential suitors, sorry, it's not my choice to not have kids or get married. It's It's my psychic, so I don't know what you want me to say. But then the 20 minutes were up, and she did give me a little bit of time to ask any questions or to further clarify anything. But I think for the most part, I was able to remember everything that she said. The main takeaways for me was that I'm doing the right thing, I'm on the right career path, and everything should be working out in my favor soon enough, as long as I stay patient and just keep doing what I'm doing. All right, so let's do some final thoughts on palmistry, if I recommend it, if I think it's kind of scammy, and just what I think overall. Like I mentioned before, with a lot of these spiritual services, you really do have to apply a lot of the things of what they're saying to your specific circumstances and how it could make you feel better. You know, people don't get palm reads or tarot card readings unless they're in a time of need or unless they need some sort of guidance. So it's kind of like what they're telling you is what you want to hear based on how you interpret it. So when she said like, oh, you're on the right path, keep doing your thing. So to me, I'm like, okay, keep making YouTube videos, keep taking low-paying modeling jobs, keep up with your portfolio, and you're gonna get that big break. That's how I wanted to interpret it. Whereas somebody else could have applied that in a totally different way. Or with the whole love line thing, I didn't even clarify if she meant like a romantic relationship. She could have meant my true love being the one true passion. What if I take up knitting in my 50s and I'm like, yes, this is what life's all about. I'm quitting my social media career. I made all my money. I'm retiring and knitting for the rest of my life. If that's what I wanted to hear, that's how I could have interpreted it, and that's what I would have needed in that moment. So I think with a lot of these spiritual services, it's what you want to take out of it. If you want it to help you and kind of guide your future decisions into being what you want, that's what it'll be. So I'll never think any of these spiritual services are scams. However, I will say I wasn't a big fan of the palm reading because it felt too far in the future. With tarot card reading, it kind of answered a lot of my questions here in the moment or here in the next few months or a year. With the palm reading, it's kind of scary for her to be like, you're not going to be successful until 35. And then you're going to give up at 40. And then you're going to find your true love at 45. Like, it felt very definitive and on this timeline that I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I just want to know if I'm ever going to reach 100,000 subscribers in the next year. Like, calm down, lady. So I don't know if that's my specific palm reader just kind of being a little too direct, or I don't know if that's palmistry in general. Let me know your guys' experience down below. If you read palms, how you would interpret my palm, or if that's pretty normal and you guys prefer it that way. You know, a lot of people like to see very far ahead in the future and make their decisions now based on that. But for me, it was a little too forward thinking in terms of what I would need from seeking guidance. So for me, palmistry is just going to be a meh in terms of getting any sort of answers or spiritual guidance. But I will say she did hit the nail on the nose. Is that the saying? The nail on the head? She hit the nail on the head several times of things about me, whether or not it was related to being a Leo or whether or not my palm does actually say that. I was impressed with how spot on she was actually able to get, so I don't doubt her abilities. I just didn't love the service in general. But that's going to be it for this video. Let me know your guys' thoughts on palmistry, if it is a very therapeutic service for you guys, if you find a lot of answers and solace in it, or if you have other services that you recommend. Because again, I definitely want to try these out and recommend them to you guys. But I thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you are following me on social media so you can keep up with my day-to-day life. I am headed to Chicago soon, so I'll be doing a vlog on that. But you can also see on just like my Instagram stories what I'm up to. Unless this video comes out later. Well, you're too late. You guys missed it all. Should have followed me sooner. But I will see you guys in the next video. Toodles! I'm serving like Tori Kelly sexy librarian vibes with a mix of like a hot yoga instructor because it is so dang hot. Should I put up my hair? No, I'm already halfway through this video. Now I'm just gonna have a 6 head the rest of the time because I need my hair off my face. I should get back to the video.